What are you in for?
The first two episodes for The Skeleton Crew has officially dropped on Disney Plus, and I must say, guys, I actually really enjoyed the show. I was a bit skeptical coming off of the disaster that was The Acolyte, so they went a different direction with this one, which I actually think works very well. Now, this reminds me of 80s 90s nostalgia. This feels like if Steven Spielberg took Star Wars and he made his own version of what he thinks Star Wars is. It's a mashup of the Goonies, all those classic movies that came out in that era, Hook, and it's just fantastic. It works very well. Now, if you look at the structure of the show, it's basically just set in the Star Wars universe, but it tells a story and tale that we've seen before. The nerdy kid who doesn't really like school, and he's a dreamer. He dreams of going on an adventure. He wants to leave home. We've all seen that story arc before. And then you have the nerdy friend Neil, that's actually a blue elephant. Very funny. He's the guy, who's always following his friends, but he's kind of cautious. Like, I don't want to do things that's going to mess up my situation at home. What is mom and dad going to say? I can't do this. So he's along for the ride, but he's always very cautious. Then you get this super nerdy kid that knows everything about tech, and then you get the very strong and powerful female character that's very tough. And she is very dangerous. But then at some point Wim and Fern, they're gonna fall in love. It's gonna happen. It just works that way, guys. It's a formula that we all know and love, and something that we've seen before. But this is perfect. It fits very well in the structure of having a family Star Wars, TV show. In that regard, it works very well. And it's created by John Watts. Wolves failed, and now he's on Star Wars, but I feel like he operates much better in this type of space. So basically, Wim, stumbles upon what he thinks is a Jedi temple, and it ends up being a starship. So the crew, the four children, get stuck in the spaceship and they start this journey into outer space. Now, what's interesting about the show, what I like, it takes place directly after the events of Return of the Jedi. So it basically takes place around about the same time that the Mandalorian does, but I don't know if it's going to link into that. But then you also have space pirates, which makes it a little interesting, especially the opening scene in episode 1 that was very entertaining. And and then you have Jude Law. I'm sure you guys have seen Jude Law in the trailer. He is the Jedi. So by how the first two episodes played out, guys, the show is exactly what I expected it to be. A family orientated Star Wars show. Look, it's not going to blow anybody out of the water, but the show is exactly what it set out to be and set out to achieve. It does exactly that. And I feel like this might be a good place to start, a good introduction to a younger audience, when it comes to Star Wars. The Acolyte was a massive failure, and this is something different. It has family charm, and that's what I love about it. You can clearly tell who this was inspired by. Its influences, the Steven Spielberg aspect of everything, and I absolutely love that. I mean, who doesn't love a little bit of 80s nostalgia sprinkled in? And it works very well in a Star Wars setup. So I can't fault it, guys. By the first two episodes, I was entertained, guys. It's good old fashioned fun, and I can see the vision and I see the execution, and that's all you needed, guys. Because I mean, like, the last shows that we got based in the Star Wars universe felt so disconnected and disjointed. I'd love to see where this goes, guys. I'll continue watching this. It's something nice. I'll definitely get my son. He'll absolutely love the show. He's not a massive Star Wars fan, so I'll try my luck with the Skeleton Crew, and it'll be interesting to see where this goes. It strikes the perfect balance between family fun, comedy, and it also has a little bit of a dark edge as well, which I like. So it's well balanced. And when it comes to a rating, guys, after watching the first two episodes, I'll give the Skeleton Crew a solid 3.5 out of 5. It's not mind blowing by any stretch of the imagination. It just does exactly what it needs to do, and it does that very well. And I cannot fault the show for that. I enjoyed it. Coming of age story. It's feel good stuff, guys, and I like episode 2 is, I really enjoyed episode 2. Hits the ground running. Obviously we have episode 1 that we meet these characters, and we get introduced to these characters and where they currently find themselves. And Wom is an interesting character. I feel like there's a lot of room to grow and to explore that character. His relationship with Fun, Neil is in the mix. And I love to see how Jude Law fits into all of this, because when we meet him, he's been a prisoner the whole time. So it's pretty interesting. And this whole thing of their home planet being a lost planet where supposedly there's a lot of treasure buried there. So I'd love to see how that plays out as well. So it's an interesting show, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I can't fault the show. It's good entertainment, and it's exactly what it needed to be. So please let me know what you guys think about the Skeleton Crew. Are you excited, or are you also on the fence after the disaster of the Acolyte? I can't blame anyone, guys. But, from my side, guys, I can recommend a watch. That's it for me, guys. Catch you on the next video.